Early voting begins in the special election to fill the Texas Senate seat vacated by convicted felon Carlos Uresti. With a Bexar County man's execution just one day away, his victims react with fury and forgiveness. And a San Antonio-based GI who joined the Army with dreams of becoming a U.S. citizen may soon become a soldier without a country.
They went to that program because everybody agreed there was the need for it. And now, the program has been discontinued and nothing on the drawing board to replace it.
I'm Chance Dorland with your Express Briefing for Monday, July 16th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. Early voting begins today in the special election to fill the Texas District 19 Senate seat vacated by now felon Carlos Uresti, who was convicted of fraud on February 22nd. And eventually resigned from the Senate on June 21st, just a few days before receiving a 12-year prison sentence. District 19 covers all or parts of 17 counties, and starting today, Bexar County will operate 10 polling places throughout the 12-day voting period, leading up to Election Day on Tuesday, July 31st. For the first 6 days of early voting, Bexar County polls are open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., then noon to 6 p.m. on July 2nd, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. July 23rd through the 25th, and then extended hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. during the final 2 days of early voting on July 26th and 27th. However, no matter the day, voters may cast ballots as long as they're in line before closing time. Find Bexar County polling locations and other information at expressnews.com or by visiting the Bexar County Elections Department website. For the past 3 years, Christopher Anthony Young has awoken in his 10 by 6 foot death row cell, knowing he's scheduled to die for the 2004 killing of Hash Patel during a convenience store robbery on the southeast side of San Antonio. While for years, Mitesh Patel, who was 22 when Young murdered his father, felt a deep hatred for his father's killer, 3 months ago, his attitude began to change, speaking with 2 filmmakers working on a documentary about Young, discovering the death row murderer has 3 young daughters, and that Young feels deep remorse for the murder and wants to be a positive influence on children who were once like him. Following those and other revelations, Mitesh Patel now says he wants his father's killer to live. But for others, memories of the morning of November 21, 2004 are much more difficult to forgive. Just before the murder, Young pointed a gun at a woman and raped her at her home while her 3 children watched. The woman, whom the Express News is not identifying as she is a rape victim, says she's still furious with Young and can't forgive him, noting that her horrific experiences at the hands of the convicted murderer are things you don't forget, and that she doesn't believe Young has truly changed. With his execution scheduled for Tuesday, Young's legal options are dwindling, with a final push by his lawyers including a request to Governor Greg Abbott to issue a 30-day reprieve in order to pursue additional appeals, and also a lawsuit against the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles, alleging the board's decision to reject Young's bid for clemency was influenced by racism. Both Christopher Anthony Young and Mitesh Patel, along with their families, are still holding out hope they'll be able to save Young's life by reducing his sentence to life in prison without parole. And a San Antonio area GI, born in a foreign land, who joined the Army with dreams of becoming a U.S. citizen, now faces deportation to a country she may no longer be a citizen of. San Antonio Express News senior reporter Sig Christensen has more.
Alina Kaluzna, she came to the United States to perfect her English, and she studied in an American school when she lived in Croatia, which is where her parents are today. So she's very steeped in what it is to be an American, and she has very American instincts. And so here she is in the Army, doing a good job from what everybody seems to think. And she's out at Camp Bullis, where she ends up helping medics in training. She came into the Army under the Military Accessions Vital to the National Interest Program, MAVNI. They were looking for language speakers. Not easy to find among the United States citizen population. Ultimately, there was a memo, and it says that we found that this program is open to insider attacks, and simply stated people in the MAVNI program have a higher probability of being security risks than U.S. citizens.
Your preference is that you don't go home, that you stay here in
Yes.
America. Tell me why going home is a bad option.
Well, it has to do with the law that says that if you join the foreign military, you automatically lose your Ukrainian citizenship. I don't know if they know or not that I'm in the military, and I don't know what's going to happen once I arrive at the airport.
This kind of is a grim scenario because you go back, you have no idea whether they'll arrest you or whether they'll not even know that who you were.
Yes, and my home is in Crimea. Where my parents are, where I grew up, that's in Crimea, and that's now part of Russia. So home is not even an option. I grew up here, so all my adult life and all my growing up as a person happened here.
You come home after a day at work, what's going through your mind?
I still have hope that it will work out, and that is why I'm doing all that, talking to people and trying to get my side of the story out. So that way maybe somebody will hear and believe that I am not a person who should be feared or, not trusted.
Hear my full interview with Express News senior reporter Sig Christensen on the latest episode of Military City, available for free download wherever you listen to podcasts. And that's your daily San Antonio Express News briefing for Monday, July 16th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. I'm Chance Dorland.